retired blues and jazz singer, and they learn a lot from each other. The boy kind of learns about um, the value of learning from your parents and being proud of your parents and who they are, and how that kind of makes you proud too. Um, so let's just jump right into it. So we can first analyze lemon. Um, Lemon we think of as being sour, and Lemon Brown had kind of a sour life. He found a lot of joy as a blues singer, but his son went off to war and died, and he's been kind of retired. He's been homeless, kind of an old kook, talking about having treasure, and just kind of a little bit nutty ever since. So that could be part of where his character name comes from. Let's see. So, the dark sky filled with angry, swirling clouds. This sets the mood. We get some imagery, some personification. We kind of just get a little spooky feel, that something is happening. There is an impending sort of conflict or drama that's going to come about soon, and the clouds are swirling, the sky's angry. Just really sets the scene. So they speak about, or the author, Walter D. Myers, speaks about a small pale green kitchen, which gives us imagery, and we could make an inference that this is a dated kitchen and kind of a dated piece, because most people don't really have pale green kitchens anymore. That's kind of like an older style for a kitchen. Walter D. Myers speaks about his father's words like distant thunder echoed through the streets of Harlem. That's a simile comparing his father's words to this distant thunder, which once again shows that, impending drama or conflict. Harlem is just a common setting based on the author's experiences too. That's something to really drive home. The father says to hit those books, which is an idiom and kind of shows more about the main character Greg's upbringing. Because his parents and his father and Lemon Brown in general kind of tend to speak in these idioms or like colloquial sayings. So it reveals more about Greg and his place in society and his community, his family, just where he is, who he is. The author speaks about a graffiti-scarred building to the grim shadows. And this is personification, speaking about a building being scarred. And it also is imagery, and it, has this desolate diction and just gives the reader the vibe that this is not, somewhere you want to be. It's got like an eeriness to it. They also use the word parlor in this story, which is another kind of dated word choice. So it kind of also sets that this is definitely not taking place in current times, because people don't typically refer to having a parlor in their house anymore. Lemon Brown said, "I got a razor here sharp enough to cut a week into 9 days." And that's kind of like an idiomatic expression. Kind of a colloquial saying, something, not everybody is gonna say. The author also uses a halo of crinkly white hair and whiskers, makes him appear, makes Lemon Brown appear to be angelic or benevolent, because at first we have this moment of suspense. Greg is in this abandoned house, feeling his way through the darkness, and then he hears a voice, he feels a presence. We don't know if it's benevolent or not, but when we see this halo of crinkly white hair, we know that he is going to be a benevolent character. He is going to maybe be some sort of guardian angel archetype, or just sort of let's move on. Look into them moon eyes and see anything you want. That's how Lemon Brown was referring to his son. This is also a good example of imagery. You know, you see somebody's eyes as the moon, and you can see anything you want in them. This is kind of giving you the image in your head of these big, great big eyes. Lemon Brown also says, you don't give up the blues, they give you up, which is personifying the blues, and kind of gives some background to how he got in this predicament he's in now. Then we get into some more conflict in the story, where there are some boys coming to this abandoned building to beat up Lemon Brown and steal his treasure, because he always walks around talking about his treasure that he has. And this is where Greg and Lemon Brown start hiding in the house, and Greg starts thinking about, he says, wondering what he would do when the man reached them, what he could do. It makes us feel the uncertainty and fear that Greg feels. It kind of brings you into that place of the character. It makes you feel that empathy, you know, really using that emotional appeal, that pathos. Howdy, Mr. Payne sees you back again. Sorry, read that wrong. Lemon Brown starts talking about as you get older, and how your body just starts kind of to decline. And he says he just isn't even surprised anymore. He just says, howdy, Mr. Payne, I sees you back again. And that's personifying, you know, pain. And just kind of saying it in a more, I guess. Lemon Brown starts speaking about how if you know your pappy did something, you know you can do something too. Which really brings us back full circle to how Greg's dad talks about how he got into the post office all the time and how proud of himself he is, because he wants to instill that pride in his son and, you know, show him that, you know, if you don't get these good grades, you can't play these sports, which is how we got into this predicament in the story, and why Lemon Brown and Greg ever even encountered each other, which really brings home this idea that, you know, Lemon Brown is kind of like a guardian angel or of some sort who's telling Greg what he needs to hear, and that's that your dad is right, go home, get good grades, follow in his footsteps, try to be like him, he's a good example, and so on and so on. Lemon Brown also said, what else a man got except in what he can give to his son or daughter if she is his oldest? This is a theme, you know, parenthood is about passing down knowledge, being a good example to your children. Then we get to the end of the story, and Greg thought of the lecture his father would give him for coming home late, and instead of being annoyed like usual, he smiled. This is because after his encounter with Lemon Brown, he learned about what it means to be a father and how you have to hold your children to those standards and be a good example, and you can't just let things slide or be cool all the time. Walter Deans Myers' foster parents likely inspired this story because he had a black foster father who really instilled in him the importance of getting an education, and Walt Dean Myers likely wrote this piece because he wanted to show that importance to other young readers who maybe might not have that influence in their life, that, you know, getting an education, listening to your parents, following good examples is important and will serve you well in life. Another huge theme in this story is the question of what makes something a treasure. Lemon Brown's most treasured, prized possession in this story that he speaks about all the time is I have a treasure, is his what is the word? His flyers from when he would sing the blues and go on tour, which his son had with him when he was at war and killed. So that is his greatest treasure in this world. That is what he has to pass down, is that glory days, proof of his glory days to his children, showing that he was something and that they can be something. That is his greatest treasure in this world. Now, the thugs that came to, you know, mess with Lemon Brown, to them, treasure is likely a monetary thing, and it's something that they wanted to steal from Lemon Brown, but you can't steal certain treasures from other people, and because they aren't a physical or monetary thing. And that just really opens up the conversation of what is treasure, what types of things do certain people treasure, what's important to certain types of people. And yeah, so overall, Walt Dean Myers. So all in all, Walt Dean Myers definitely has an intention of reaching Black youth and speaking to their experiences, and he does so by using very intentional rhetoric, using lots of literary devices, keeping things interesting and flowing, and also by appealing to the emotions of readers, putting them in the position of the main characters, and using lots of pathos. So